Okay, we're back. Um, I have to tell you, your essays the first week were really very good. I'm a little perplexed that three or four people haven't entered essays yet, and I don't know if it's because there's a problem with the whole computer system at TroCare. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, um, but anyway, um, you folks, though that dozen or so of you who entered essays all did very good jobs, and some of you did amazingly outstanding jobs, especially for our first essay. So I was very pleased with your willing to put yourself out there. We learned a lot about some people because of what they wrote in their essays, and literature caused that to happen. So their reaction to literature is personal, and so we all get a chance to have that personal reaction to literature when somebody goes into personal experiences for us. So again, you're all moving in the direction of being active readers because nobody just told what happened in the works. All of you delved into what we were trying to do. I was really very pleased, and your comments on each other's essays were also really quite good. Um, a couple of comments were just to the point that, oh, I really liked what you did. And going forward, please be a little more specific about those. Pick out maybe a particular point, but also don't be afraid to disagree with somebody. They may say something that no matter how you think about it, you can't see how it fits. That's okay. I was also really pleased with the fact that so many of you said, "Wow, you thought about this in a way very differently from the way I thought about it." That's cool. That really indicates that you're willing to learn from other people's ideas and that you're open to other people's ideas. And of course, that's a big part of what we are trying to do here. Okay? So far so good. So far I am really happy with what's going on. I just hope that those other, I don't know, three or four or five people get up to snuff with us. And again, maybe it was the computer breakdown because one student did email me and tell me that they just weren't able to access it all and they didn't know if it was their computer or what. And I don't know the answer to that either. But TroCare was having problems and still is having problems with their system. Oh, going forward, I'm also going to have your due date be on Monday. I'm guessing that because four or five people or three or four people didn't have their essays in by Sunday night. Well, it's always like this. There's always a bunch of people who, like, they work doubles Saturday and Sunday. They're full-time workers. They work one day during the week and work doubles Saturday and Sunday so they can work a full 40-hour week and still go to school. And so maybe just trying to have those essays due on Sunday doesn't work for some of you. That's okay. So we'll put down a Monday due date probably all the time going forward with your comments then due on Tuesday. Okay. And if we follow that routine, most of the time I still should be able to get a lesson up for you on Tuesday, which will be due the following Monday. So let's go in that direction. Okay. So far, really good. Now this week, and I think all of you except one texted or emailed me. Text me going forward on the answer to the video quiz. Okay, text me on that. And I'm going to give you the question for the video quiz right now. Okay, what was it that was found on the pillow when people broke into the locked bedroom at Emily's funeral? What was found on the pillow? What did they find there? Okay, that's your video question, and giving it to you early like this, I think, causes you to zero in on that fact because it's a pretty heavy duty kind of thing that happens there. Okay, so we want to talk about plot, and what I want you to see with plot is this, that most of the time in plot we have a straight line. Okay, story starts and goes through and finishes. And actually, Aristotle said that every story should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay, and the beginning should be um, nothing has to come before it. The middle should be something where something has to come before it and something has to come after it. And the end should be where something has to come before it, but nothing has to come after it. That's what plot setup has to be, okay? But you need to understand that plot doesn't always have to be in a straight line. So, I haven't seen many movies lately, so I can't really pick one out to use as an example of a plot that's not a straight line plot. But let me choose some films. There was a film that was very popular a few years ago about teenagers, and the name of it was Stand by Me, and it's a movie that still shows up on television and people still watch it, and it's a story where it's filled with flashbacks. You get this, and then to demonstrate it, they go back and tell something in the past. Okay, so the plot is going from here to there and back, and here to there and back, and here to there and back. Okay, lots of times plots go like that. My wife watches a TV show, or has been watching a TV show on Tuesday night. It's in its very last season now. Oh gosh, I don't remember the name of it, but when I tell you this, if you watch the show, you'll know what I mean. It's about a family who, back in the first year of the show, the father died in a house fire when he went back in to rescue the dog. Okay, he came out and he died that night in the hospital. And so, this show is probably 5 or 6 years old. And again, I don't remember the name of it. But it's about a family that has a daughter and a couple of sons. One of the sons was adopted. The family is a Caucasian family, but they had adopted an African American child. Um, so it's the story follows each of these people, and so much of the time, um, you hear from the people. It just, I don't know. A few times I've watched it, it's like they're bemoaning the fact that we're now like 30 years beyond that fire where their father died. They all have their marriages and their own children and this kind of stuff, and they're still bemoaning the fact that their life could have been so different if their father hadn't died when they were so young. So that they constantly refer back, and frequently they show that scene where the father is in the fire. So it's flashback in a common kind of thing. A common kind of TV show. I'm trying to think of something else where there might be flashbacks. It's not popping into my head right now. But anyway, you're used to the flashback thing. You're used to the kind of thing where they show what's going on now and then they show something that happened before to help cause it. That's an example of a plot that is not in a straight line. Okay. Well, okay, so logical beginning, middle, end, but that doesn't mean that it has to be rolled out to you in the order of beginning, middle, end. Okay. And in fact, in A Rose from Emily, the plot line is not sequential. It is not in a straight order because the story starts out, the Faulkner story that you'll read starts out at the end and then goes into different incidents in the life of Emily Grierson, A Rose for Emily, okay? And at the end, you go full circle. You've gone all the way around. You started here. You start and end in the same place, except that where the writing of the story starts isn't really the start of the story, not the start of what Emily's all about, because then you go back and meet Emily when she's a young woman, and you go through different incidents in her life, okay? So that is a non-sequential plot. It doesn't go in a straight line sequence of events. That's a non-sequential plot. So we still have a beginning, a middle, and an end, but they aren't rolled out to us in that order of a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay, and it's important that a plot have unity, which is also part of what Aristotle said. So a plot should have a oneness to it, and this story does. But again, it's not just straight across like that. It hops around to get us the big picture, the whole ball of wax, if you want, for the sake of unity, ball. Sorry about that. So um, a, a plot, according to a more modern critic, E.M. Forrester, is a series of events that make up a story, but the emphasis of the order of them falls on causality. What causes them to be in that order? Why are they in that order? So they don't necessarily have to be in this kind of an order. They can be in an order that bounces around, and Emily is. Okay. So the plot actually, people often can confuse plot and theme. They are not the same thing. Okay. Plot is the sequence of events, and plot consists of characters performing actions in that sequence of events, and these actions interrelate to form us a story. So again, the actions in a plot don't have to come in chronological order. Okay. Sometimes there really isn't a beginning. Sometimes you're just there, but there's some place where the story starts, and that's really the beginning. Okay. So every plot has to have a conflict, of course. Okay. There has to be something that makes the whole ball turn. Some kind of an obstacle in the path of conflict. Okay, you know what conflict means. And so the plot generally revolves around that conflict. And in this story, in A Rose for Emily, I guess if the plot has to revolve around something, it revolves around Emily's feelings for Homer Barron. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of a brief overview of what plot is all about. Now, going forward, and again, I'll give you another, essay here for you to do. And I love the fact that so many of you put down your essays, got your essays posted early. That's first of all good for the other students, because then when they write their essay, they can look at your essay right away and write their reactions too. So it doesn't have to be a 2-day thing for them. And the other thing is, it gives me a chance to get started early, because it's a whole lot better for me if I can, see some of your essays on, somebody's essay on Thursday and a couple more on Friday and a couple more on Saturday. Then they're not all built up, and it's a big project to do all at one time. So I love the idea that you get them in early. Okay, so do it at your schedule. And all of you have different schedules. I know that, which is why I try to give you a whole week to get all this done. Okay, but the first chance you have, if you have time, try to get them done. Anyway, you're doing great. I love you guys. Keep doing all the great stuff you're doing. I'm having a great time so far. Thanks.